Greetings, brothers, and welcome back to the BlackManCan men's channel, the place where masculinity is affirmed and supported, where we as men go to tackle the challenges of modern day society and with women, and most of all, a place where we strive to become the best version of ourselves. Greetings, brothers. Today I come to you a little bit melancholy, and the last few days have been very heart-wrenching to think about some of the events that have happened in the last week in our communities that have affected many people. I want to give my prayers and condolences to the families in Buffalo who have been greatly affected by the mass shooting in the grocery store. I want to give my condolences to the families in Texas who had to deal with that massacre in their elementary school. I would not wish such fate on my worst enemy. I mean, we all know that, death is a natural part of life, but to lose a child is something that I can't even fathom. And I think we all as parents went home and hugged our children a little bit tighter last night. And it was very difficult to deal with, and it's going to be difficult to deal with going forward. Not to mention the two teachers who lost their lives. They were mothers, they were wives, they were sisters, they were cousins, they were somebody's family member. And as I mentioned beforehand, my heart, prayers, and condolences go out to them, and I wish them nothing but grace and mercy and the ability to somehow get their way through it together. That being said, brothers, I want to kind of deal with a topic that we as a people, especially in Black and brown communities, need to be aware of and to deal with head on. I want to deal with the concept of how hurt people hurt people. We're going to chop it up right now, and I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to go through a few points that hopefully can help us. I had a lot of different views about this situation because it dealt with race, and we have dealt with a society that has been desensitized to the murder of Black and brown men and women and children, and we need to get past that, and we need to start doing things as a community first, because nobody else, in my opinion, is going to do it for us, to protect our children, to protect our women, to protect our families. And I personally do not feel that having some kind of action where you take away all citizens' rights to weapons away is a solution. But with that being said, we're going to talk about some of the things that we need to look for amongst each other and amongst other people to prevent things from getting to this crescendo. Okay? So let's get into it. First and foremost, I think that after the last several years dealing with COVID, dealing with inflation, dealing with job insecurity, rent going up, price of living just out of control, I think a lot of people have just become emotionally numb. People are stressed out, people are depressed, and we need to make mental health as big a priority as we do any other area of our health, whether it be mental, whether it be emotional, physical. Mental health needs to be something that is taken seriously, and there needs to be access to doctors, there needs to be access to therapy for all healthcare plans. I think therapy is really the key. A lot of us, we come through communities where we always think we can just go tell Jesus or we can pray it away, and some stuff does not go away unless it is treated, unless it is addressed. So the first part I want to address is mental health care should be mandatory and available to all. Another area that we need to look into is the concept that racism is real in this country, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. These are things that Black folks have been talking about for hundreds of years, and the chickens continue to come home to roost. There needs to be more of a familial connection, and we need to start taking care of ourselves. We need to make sure we have security in our schools. We need to make sure we are securing our neighborhoods and protecting our women and children. And there needs to be groups set up within the community, because first we need to do for self, because no one else is going to do it for us. The eyes of oppression do not lift those who have been oppressed. You have to do things on your own. So we first need to form alliances within our communities to prevent massacres like this from happening. Another thing, brothers, check on your friends, okay? We have a lot of men out here that are suffering in silence, that are going through depression, that are going through all kinds of mental problems and issues, and no one knows the better because men usually move in silence. We are taught to be stoic. We are not taught that we are able to speak to anybody. And a lot of men out there will tell you that their woman, that their family, that some of their friends do not really want to empathize and hear them, or they feel they can't come to them. And we need to check on our brothers and call people we haven't spoken to in a while and make sure their mind is in the right place. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them what's been going on. You'd be surprised how a phone call from somebody can change the way life is going for that person. Just to know somebody out there cares about you and you're not just out here in the wilderness. So brothers, check on your fellow brother. As men, we need to control our emotions. This is a sign of people that were emotionally out of control. People who are totally gone in terms of their feelings. They have leaped into the world of insanity and demonic behavior. When you feel that it is your right to snuff out the life of dozens of people, you have lost your mind. And we need to remember as men that emotion is energy in motion. Now, see, this doesn't always happen just on a massacre level. You have men that kill a man that was messing with their old lady. You have men that got fired from their job to come back and shoot people. Brother, understand that no matter what place you are in, it is not worth your life and is not worth taking the lives of others. And we need to deal with our own emotions and be able to feel like we have a safe space to talk to somebody. A lot of brothers don't feel that way, and these are the kind of results that happen when people are emotionally unhinged. Last but not least, brother, reevaluate your worth. This is the time when you are supposed to affirm yourself. You are supposed to have a relationship with God. You are supposed to be digging down to reach your best and greatest place. Just because you are not in your season does not mean that the rain is not going to end and there's going to be a new beautiful sunshine for you, brother. You got to start mentally preparing yourself for better, because when you're going through crisis, that's usually when better things are coming around the corner. Sometimes the universe is testing you. So, brother, no situation on earth is worth you ending up in prison for. No situation on earth is worth you taking the innocent lives of anybody. I don't care what the situation is outside of the death of your child, which I can understand somebody being in a vigilante state after something like this. But nothing is worth your life because people are dependent on you. You are a king, you are a father, you are a brother, you are a friend, you are a cousin, you are a family member, you are a worker, you are somebody to somebody. So remember that at all times before you do anything crazy, before you let your emotion become energy in motion. Your worth is not based on your looks, your socioeconomic status, your education, your job, your connection, your health status, what kind of woman you with, what kind of job occupation you got. You are already worth something from the minute you get here, brother. There is no reason that you need to devalue yourself to the place where you become emotionally unstable and want to hurt others. Okay? And we need to look out and listen out for those brothers that are in need and stop being so stoic and non-committal as far as checking on our brothers. Okay? But the first thing you need to know, first and foremost, as a man, is that you are better than doing anything that is hurtful to others because you are in a bad state. So remember your worth first and foremost. Another thing we need to ask ourselves as people, as women, as men, is, are you a safe space? Are you a person that people can come to when they are in distress? A person that can be talked to, a person that can be reached out to, that is available emotionally, that can help somebody who's in a state of depression? A lot of people are in a messed up place and we just kind of pass them over. And another thing is men don't feel comfortable in many situations reaching out to family, friends, or their loved one. They feel that they are in combat. I know a lot of people say that. Look, I want to express certain feelings, but I feel I'm going to be judged. I feel I'm going to be looked at differently. I feel this person may use my words one day to spit back at me in a vulnerable state. So we need to ask ourselves as individuals, are you the kind of person people can feel comfortable expressing their feelings in front of when they're going through a tough period? Brothers, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do with each other. We got a lot of work to do in our community. And we first have to promote protection of all women and children. There is nobody else that's going to do it for us but us. I've been telling you this from the beginning. To be kings, to be queens, to be princes and princesses, we have to first get our communal family tie and community bonds back together. And hopefully we can learn from things like this. And it won't have to happen as frequently as often. I believe there's always going to be crazy people in the world. And I don't think that guns kill people. I think people kill people. And we need to get control, as much control as possible as we can, over guns getting into the hands of people that are mentally unstable and are thinking of doing demonic things. So brothers, with that being said, if you like the content, if you were able to familiarize with it and feel it, go to the YouTube channel. We're talking about many different topics. It's all about men's health, men's personal development, dealing with relationships. The BlackManCan men's channel is for all men. So please come through, subscribe to the platforms that are below. Thank y'all as always for tuning in. And remember, most importantly, that the black man can. And if you ain't know, you better ask somebody. Prayers and mercies and grace to those families, and I hope that they can pull through